what does the weather have to do with classical music? This is Staccato, quick notes dotting the classical music landscape. I'm Jude Gibson. Just ask Richard Strauss. He had an obsession about the weather.
He wrote an Alpine Symphony, which features 4 different sorts of weather, and he also wrote another piece, so he represented weather 5 times, as far as we're aware, across 2 pieces. And he was quite interested in nature and the outdoors and things, actually, so it was interesting that he was inspired by that.
British meteorological scientist Dr. Karen Aplin of Oxford University plays double bass in an orchestra, and she was curious about weather as an inspiration for classical composers. She got together with a colleague, Dr. Paul Williams of Reading University, to research it and write a paper about it.
We all experience the weather, we all like music, and this is a way of bringing the 2 things together.
The paper's called Meteorological Phenomena in Western Classical Orchestral Music.
Even though Strauss, a German, used weather most often in his works, most of these weather composers were close to home.
We found lots of pieces of music by British composers in our database, twice as many, in fact, as any other nationality. So this is kind of consistent with the stereotypical view of the British as being obsessed by the weather, because we get a lot of it over here.
One example is Benjamin Britten's 4C interludes from the opera Peter Grimes. And there's Symphonia Antarctica from Ralph Vaughan Williams. And the Royal Hunt and Storm from the Trojans by Hector Berlioz.
"20 out of the 35 pieces in our database had storms in them, and we think that's because storms are a very attractive dramatic device for composers to represent not only the storm, but also the inner emotional turmoil of characters."
So is there a point, a message in this paper?
It makes you more aware of what's going on, and then it makes you think about what the composer might have been thinking about when they wrote the piece.
Both Doctors Aplin and Williams are surprised by the popularity of a paper that was done outside of their real jobs, especially since it's overshadowing the work they do every day.
I study climate models and models of the atmosphere and ocean, and this particular piece of work, which I've done in my spare time with Karen Aplin on weather and music, has received a lot more attention from people than any of my serious papers.
The paper is in the November issue of the Royal Meteorological Society journal called Weather. That's Staccato on KMFA, Classical Public Radio for Central Texas. I'm Jude Gibson.